Alright, I just made that developer's insights. Hopefully you checked it out. If not, I guess you're not really missing out on too much, so whatever. At least you're here for the kit reveal, which is what anybody cares about, so let's just get it. Alright, so to start, her basic is called Fierce Foray, and it looks like she just kind of aggressively goes and attacks somebody. Of course, it's, Imperial Probe Droid. Final text, deal physical damage to target enemy and inflict critical chance down for 1 turn. If Shin Hati has 10 or more stacks of Soldier of Fortune, man, that's a lot of copies of the same game there, she inflicts critical chance down on all enemies for 1 turn instead. During Shin Hati's turn, call target other mercenary ally to assist, which I'm sure the best option will be Baylan Skol. If the target enemy was stunned, deal 10% more damage per stack of Soldier of Fortune on Shin Hati, max 100%. So that's kind of cool. You definitely want her to have those Soldier of Fortunes then, so then she can hit a lot harder. Well, with a stun. Actually, that's double cool. So they're stunned and they're taking way more damage. That's actually pretty sick. Special one. I've eyes on them. That just sounds weird and clunky. I've eyes on them? I mean, I know it's an abbreviation for I have. But it's just weird. Anyways, what does she do? Throws her eyes at them? Okay, it looks like she's gaining some kind of a buff. There's a green that happens behind her. And she's blasting out at them. I can't tell if it's like an AoE and everybody's taking some heat. Yeah, it looks like it. So let's see what this is all about. Final text. Deal physical damage to all enemies and inflict them with offense down and vulnerable for 2 turns on all enemies. Okay, yep, that's redundant. You said deal damage to all enemies, and then you're going to tell us on all enemies again? Shin Hati gains 10% critical avoidance, stacking max 50%, for the rest of the encounter whenever each of these debuffs are resisted. All mercenary allies gain 30% protection up for 2 turns. If Shin Hati has 10 or more stacks of Soldier of Fortune, she gains 25% turn meter and increases the cooldowns of all enemies by 1. There we go, we just learned about one bonus for Soldier of Fortune stacks. Now we get another one. This move will help her gain 25% turn meter, and you can increase your enemy's cooldowns. So that's pretty cool. I know this is like an old character now, and he's kind of easy to defeat, but every time I see increased cooldowns, I always think of Nihilus. Because whatever his second special is called, Force Drain or something, that reduces his cooldowns, and then, you know, it only helps his Annihilate move. So I think something like this, like, oh yeah, F you and your dumb Annihilate. Special 2, we'll take it from here, motherfucker. So it's just spin, kick, lightsaber, and then buffs. Oh, and just a plain old lightsaber. Hold on a minute. There's a lot going on here. Because now there's no kick. So what does this do? Final text. Deal physical damage to target enemy and stun them for 1 turn. Shin Hati gains critical damage up and riposte for 2 turns. If Shin Hati had 15 or more stacks of Soldier of Fortune, attack again. Always scoring a critical hit if able, and decreases the cooldown of Clean Escape by 1. So that must be what that second attack is. It's showing that she had 15 or more stacks of Soldier of Fortune. If the target enemy is inflicted with Purge, Shin Hati inflicts buff immunity on them for 2 turns and deals 10% bonus damage for each stack of Purge they have, stacking max 60%. Purge, who even has that? Purge is only Inquisitor's thing, right? Right? If it is, that's really weird to have anti-Inquisitor synergy. What? Oh wait, if target enemy is inflicted, oh, so that means she can do Purge too then, never mind. Yeah, Shin Hati inflicts buff immunity on them and deals damage for each stack of Purge they have, never mind. So that's more like Inquisitor synergy. Which technically they are all unaligned Force users as well, so, Unique 1, you have no power, Zeta Omicron, and unlocks at tier 6, which somehow Zeta Omicron is a sentence, it's got a period. No subject, no verb, no predicate. It's just 2 words, but it's a sentence. Final text. At the start of each encounter, Shin Hati gains 25% accuracy and 50% offense until the end of the encounter, and she ignores taunt effects during her turn. Whenever Shin Hati is critically hit, she gains retribution for 2 turns and 150 speed for 1 turn. I mean, that's a nice boost in speed, but 1 turn for that, but then retribution for 2 turns, that's silly. The first time Shin Hati gains 10 or more stacks of Soldier of Fortune, she gains the granted ability Clean Escape for the rest of the battle. If Soldier of Fortune stacks are below 10, Clean Escape ability can't be used. So it kind of sounds like it's a payout for bounty hunters. Kind of like Disintegrate with Mandalorian. You know, if he doesn't have a payout, you can't use that move. But once he gets his payout, boom, he can have the move. But even then, there's stipulations because he needs to have critical chance up in order for that move to be active. Do we get any information on Clean Escape? Is it somewhere down? Oh, here it is. Okay. I was gonna say. So you know what? Since they're talking about Clean Escape, let's just go take a look at it actually. So granted ability 1, Clean Escape, cooldown 8. That's a ridiculous cooldown, especially considering that you need to have 10 stacks of Soldier of Fortune to activate it. Final text, Clean Escape. Effects are based on the number of Shin Hati's stacks of Soldier of Fortune. If she has 10 plus stacks, she dispels all the buffs and gains 30% max health until the end of the encounter. All non-tank allies stealth for 2 turns. So it's basically a reverse taunt. Tanks are supposed to taunt, and instead your tanks are not taunting, but everybody's under stealth, so they're essentially taunting. 20 plus stacks. She dispels buffs on the target enemy. Shin Hati gains critical hit immunity and health steal up for 2 turns and inflicts defense down on all enemies for 2 turns. 35 plus stacks. All mercenary allies gain foresight and offense up for 2 turns. Shin Hati removes 100% turn meter and dazes all enemies for 2 turns, which can't be resisted. Alright, couple things there with that last one. First, it says all mercenary allies gain foresight and jeez, why am I stumbling? Foresight and offense up here. So that's pretty cool. She's got synergy in her kit to work with this new tag, so that's kind of cool. Second is it says she removes 100% turn meter and dazes all enemies. So is this saying that all enemies lose all of their turn meter, or is it just the target enemy loses turn meter, but then everybody gets dazed? Anyways, back up to where we were at, which was right here. So back to you have no power. It has an Omicron, which is for territory wars, and it says as long as all allies are mercenary and non-galactic legend force unaligned force user. Wait, as long as they are all mercenary or non-GL. So that basically takes out SLKR and Rey. I don't think there's any other GLs that we have that are unaligned force user. We will have Ahsoka, but we don't yet. So anyways, in Territory Wars, at the start of encounter, Shin Hati gains 75% accuracy and 30 speed. All allies gain 50% max health and max protection until the first time Shin Hati is defeated, and all light side enemies are immune to cooldown reduction for 2 turns or until the first time Shin Hati is defeated. While enemies are inflicted with Purge, they have minus 50% critical damage and minus 30 speed. Whenever enemies attack 3 times out of turn, Shin Hati gains 1 stack of Soldier of Fortune. Whenever Shin Hati gains Riposte, I don't know how to say that, but I know what it is. That's the move that Dooku used to have only, and now a couple other characters do, including her. And has 15 or more stacks of Soldier of Fortune. The cooldown of Clean Escape is decreased by 3. Whenever a light side enemy gains damage immunity, they are inflicted with fear for 1 turn, which can't be resisted, and Shin Hati gains a bonus turn. Okay, there's a lot going on there, and I don't really know how to interpret it because there's just too much packed in there all together at once. But I'm feeling like it's not that juicy. It's not terrible. It's not a terrible Omicron, but I don't feel like it's like a juicy Omicron either. It's just kind of like a next level Zeta, basically. I don't know. Guess you'd have to see it in action. Oh, there was also a little bit more. It says, additionally, Clean Escape has these effects based on the number of Shin Hati's stacks of Soldier of Fortune. So 20 plus stacks, all mercenary allies are revived. Okay, then. That's pretty cool. Never mind. That just made this Omicron way better now. And then 35 plus, Shin Hati increases cooldowns of light side target enemy to their max. Oh yeah, that's true with that one too. Bring them to the max. That's kind of cool. Never mind. I don't know about all this other crap, but that's decent. This alone is actually kind of decent. Anyways, unique 2, Soldier of Fortune. Shin Hati. We've heard so much about this. About time we learn about it. Final text. At the start of battle, Shin Hati gains 1 stack of Soldier of Fortune per relic amplifier level she has until the end of battle. Okay, so if she's relic 9, she'll start with 9. Whenever Shin Hati scores a critical hit or attacks out of turn, she gains 1 stack of Soldier of Fortune. Whenever Shin Hati is critically hit, she loses a stack of Soldier of Fortune. Oh, that sucks. So it's always in flux. At the start of each mercenary ally's turn, they gain 5% critical chance and critical damage stacking for each stack of Soldier of Fortune they have until their start of the next turn. Yeah, so how does this work? Does everybody gain a stack of this when Shin Hati does, or does everybody gain their own? I don't know. It's kind of weird. What is this artwork anyway? She just goes invisible because there's too much going on, so you don't even know what she would actually be doing. Alright, looks like that is it. So there's the kit reveal for Shin Hati. Basically the first official mercenary that we got coming to the game. Has a little synergy directly with mercenaries, and her omicron started out sounding mid, ended up sounding pretty awesome when you actually read the whole thing. So anyways, that is all I got. Thanks for checking this out with me, and until next time, I said see ya.